So you have to admit that pests are one of the biggest contenders that we have to battle out in the garden continually to get good crops like this that we're looking at here. Now, this crop has a bit of a story to tell, and I'm battling with a certain pest at the moment, and I'm going to share some more with you because I'm losing some of my crop to them. And I want to explain what I did wrong and how I felt that I could actually change it a little bit and fix it. And it has helped a bit. But we can also discuss some of the time-proven methods for some of these pest controls that we do. You know, we've got permaculturists, horticulturists, organic gardeners, backyard gardeners, and stuff that's been passed on through the generations. Now, it's very difficult in places like this, like YouTube, to be able to share all this sort of connected knowledge together. And that's why I created the Garden Creator Hub. And it's my community where you can go in there, you can join up for free at the moment and get access to lots of knowledge and lots of different people that are all going through similar problems to you at similar times, and connect with them and have a chat. So it might be something that we'll take further into the community. There's a link down below in the description, and you'll find it there to go and join the Garden Creator Community Hub, or the Garden Creator Hub I like to call it. This is a Roma tomato. Now, one of my biggest problems with this is the hornworm. I'm telling you, this thing, I've lost nearly all my fruit on one plant, which was a like a dwarf tomato plant. Now they're like a more shaped like this, and I've had to pull all the young fruit off it to save. There's some marks there on that one, but that's just from actually the timber rubbing up against the trellis. That is not a puncture wound from the hornworm. Now the hornworm, pretty sure, is a type of moth that hunts mostly at night, so you won't see it as much through the daytime, and it's really clever, and it'll go for places where it can hide its eggs and it must inject somehow a little piercing into the fruit, and then it'll lay the eggs inside, or one egg inside, and the grub will grow. Now I don't know how many, usually you just spot one grub, and it comes out as a little hairy caterpillar, which eventually becomes a moth. So there are ways around it, and I'd love to hear what you've got to control, or what how you think you can do it, or how you've had success down in the comments box here at Marty's Garden on this channel. It'd be great to hear what you've got to say. Now, what I do is I just pull them off when I find the little puncture wounds. Now you can see a little puncture wound right there, right? Now, and how else can you tell if you can't find the puncture wound? And we'll talk about that in a second, because sometimes they can't be hidden. You'll see like brown bruising inside the fruit, and that's possibly where the eggs have been laid, and it's eating in around the inside there, and chewing up on, well, eating basically, and just destroying the fruit. And so I throw these to the chickens, and sometimes I'll squash it and they'll grab the bug inside and they'll just eat the flesh out, or any eggs if there's anything in there like that. Now, again, I'm not sure how many they actually lay. I only ever see one grub, but think about that. In the past I have seen a couple of grubs on one fruit at a time. So yeah, the brown bruising is definitely one way to show. Excuse that light coming on and off. I'm using a light there. Just don't leave. I'm using a special light because I've got to film inside at the moment because it's raining. Anyway, back to this. Now, one thing I've noticed is when you're harvesting the fruit, you're going, oh, that looks all right, looks okay. And then you pick the fruit, and there's a little piercing straight above where the stem connects to the fruit. And that can get in through that way, and you don't even see them, so you don't pick it off early enough to get the bug to bin it, burn it, or throw it to the chickens. You definitely don't compost it because you don't want the problem ongoing and keep on moving into your fruit. Now, this one here has also got some browning just from rubbing up against the plant or against some hard wood, and it's okay. But I'm not sure. It feels a bit sort of like spongy in that part, and something doesn't feel right, and I think there's some bruising might appear there. So I'm just keeping an eye on that one. I don't want to be breeding anything inside there that'll go straight at the chickens if that's the case. Now, there are others where you go, oh, maybe that's a mark, maybe that's not. So if you're unsure, you can sort of just hang on to it. That's just there. I don't think that is a mark, but I'm unsure about that one. So I may still lose some of this fruit here, and there seems to be a couple little marks on each one of them, but there's no bruising or anything inside this one. So, you know, you do get other little critters bite on them and things like that. I'm fully organic here. And the mistake that I made with these ones is they do attack the Roma, I've noticed. They must be an easier sort of one to get, and more than the cherry tomatoes to access through the skin. But I found that the plant, so my bush tomato, which is a determinate variety, only grows to about 3 feet tall. I had it growing up against a trellis, and there was all other plants growing against it, and it was very well camouflaged, and you could go in and grab tomatoes, things like that. But there was a lot more places for the moth to hide and to lay the grub. So if you're removing all the bottom branches and exposing it to leave it more open to the elements, birds like we got the noisy miner will get in and grab the grubs, I've noticed, or hang onto the side of the pole, or hang on to somewhere near the plant, look around, and they'll grab the grubs, which is absolutely great. And that's what I'm trying to do, is get the predators in there, you know, such as, praying mantis and different sap-sucking pests, predators that'll attack and kill the pests, and then I end up with a better, more productive garden. Now, I am getting still fruit. We ate some last night in a beautiful Filipino pork dish with cucumber. It was just absolutely sensational, and that's probably going to go up into the community soon. We're putting recipes from the garden sort of in there, so that's at the creative, so the garden, the light's flashing on and off again, the Garden Creator Hub. Anyway, I'd like to know more about what you think about pest control, what you're doing. You know, you could go and spray garlic oil around the place and a bit of chili oil and things like that. That'll work, but you find that if it's already got a piercing, it's got inside, it's very protected from any type of spray or whatever that you want to get. So there is definitely a management problem with growing tomatoes in certain areas. I know in Queensland you have the fruit fly, Queensland fruit fly, and that's a big problem for tomatoes, probably a bigger problem than even this. Anyway, while the light's flashing on and off, it's like I'm in a disco light here. Just wanted to share that with you. Hopefully I see you over at the Garden Creator Hub. I've got to go now and get my laptop fixed. I'm filming on the phone with a little light behind me in the kitchen. Got some problems with the hard drive and things like that, and want to get more content out to you guys in the community and also here on YouTube. So stick with me. I've got some work to do, and I'll see you at the next video real soon. I look forward to reading your comments down below. Bye for now.